A wild bear seeks a soldier's aid. What happens after will restore your faith in humanity. The mist clung to the slopes of the Great Smoky Mountains, shrouding the ancient forests in an ethereal veil. The air, heavy with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, hummed with the symphony of cicadas and the distant rush of a cascading waterfall. John, a man with the weathered visage of a seasoned soldier, traversed the winding trails, his footsteps a steady rhythm against the silence of the wilderness. His eyes, though bearing the weight of unseen battles, held a glimmer of solace, seeking refuge in the embrace of nature's grandeur. John, a former army medic, carried the scars of war deep within his soul. The memories of his deployment, the horrors he had witnessed, the lives he had saved and lost, haunted his waking thoughts and plagued his dreams. He had returned home a changed man, the camaraderie of his fellow soldiers replaced by the isolating silence of his own thoughts, the adrenaline-fueled chaos of the battlefield exchanged for the unsettling stillness of civilian life. The diagnosis of PTSD, a label that sought to define his inner turmoil, felt like a brand, a mark of vulnerability in a world that expected him to be strong, stoic, a hero unscathed by the horrors he had witnessed. He had sought solace in the solitude of the Great Smoky Mountains, their towering peaks and ancient forests offering a sanctuary from the noise and demands of a world that seemed unable to comprehend his pain. He spent his days hiking the trails, his body finding a familiar rhythm in the physical exertion, his mind seeking respite in the symphony of nature's sounds. He would often pause by a secluded stream, its crystal-clear waters reflecting the turmoil within him, its gentle murmur a soothing balm to his troubled soul. He would close his eyes, the memories of war flashing before him like a haunting slideshow, the screams of the wounded, the stench of blood and gunpowder, the weight of a lifeless body in his arms. He would clench his fists, his knuckles white, his body trembling with the phantom echoes of explosions and gunfire. But amidst the darkness, a flicker of light would emerge, a memory of a life saved, a moment of shared humanity amidst the chaos, a reminder of the compassion that had guided his actions, the empathy that had fueled his dedication to his fellow soldiers. He would open his eyes, the beauty of the mountains a stark contrast to the darkness within him, their resilience a testament to the enduring power of life in the face of adversity. He would take a deep breath, the crisp mountain air filling his lungs, a cleansing breath that offered a momentary respite from the suffocating weight of his memories. He would continue his hike, his footsteps carrying him deeper into the wilderness, his heart seeking solace in the solitude, his soul yearning for a healing he couldn't find within the confines of civilization. The trail, winding its way through a dense thicket of rhododendron and mountain laurel, led John deeper into the heart of the wilderness. The sunlight, filtered through the canopy of leaves, cast dappled shadows on the path, creating an ethereal atmosphere that mirrored the tranquility he sought. As he rounded a bend in the trail, a sound pierced the silence, a soft whimpering that carried a note of distress. John, his senses honed by years of military training, paused, his instincts alert to the unfamiliar sound. He scanned the surroundings, his eyes searching for the source of the whimpering, his hand instinctively reaching for the pocketknife he always carried. He moved cautiously towards the sound, his footsteps barely disturbing the fallen leaves, his senses heightened by a mix of curiosity and caution. He parted a curtain of ferns, his gaze falling upon a sight that tugged at his heartstrings. A young black bear cub, its fur matted with blood, lay whimpering on the ground, its small body trembling with pain and fear. John, his compassion overriding his initial apprehension, knelt beside the cub, his gentle touch assessing its injuries. The cub, its eyes wide with fear, flinched at his touch, its whimpers escalating into a soft cry. John, his voice a soothing murmur, spoke to the cub, his words carrying a calming reassurance that transcended the boundaries of language. He examined the cub's injured paw, its delicate bones clearly broken, its flesh torn by the sharp rocks and thorns of the undergrowth. A wave of empathy washed over John, the cub's vulnerability mirroring his own inner turmoil. He saw in the creature's pain a reflection of his own struggles, its isolation a reminder of his own alienation from the world he had returned to. He knew he couldn't leave the cub to suffer. His instincts as a medic, ingrained in his very being, urged him to act, to offer aid, to alleviate the creature's pain. He carefully gathered the cub in his arms, its small body trembling against his chest, its whimpers softening as it sensed his gentle touch. He carried it back to the trail, his footsteps now purposeful, his heart filled with a newfound sense of mission. He would take the cub back to his cabin, a secluded retreat nestled deep within the mountains, a sanctuary he had created for himself, a place where he sought solace and healing. He would tend to its injuries, offer it comfort, and protect it from the harsh realities of the wilderness. As he carried the cub through the forest, its soft whimpers a counterpoint to the symphony of nature's sounds, John felt a glimmer of hope rekindle within him. The act of compassion, the selfless desire to help another being in need, stirred something deep within his soul, a reminder of the humanity he had almost lost in the shadows of war. He looked at the cub, its eyes now closed in exhaustion, its breathing becoming more regular. He felt a connection, an unspoken bond with this creature that had sought his aid, a shared vulnerability that transcended the boundaries of species. He knew that caring for the cub would be a challenge, a test of his patience and his ability to nurture. But he also knew that it was an opportunity for healing, a chance to reconnect with the compassion that had defined his life before the war, a path towards rediscovering his own humanity in the wilderness that had become his sanctuary. John's cabin, nestled deep within a secluded hollow, was a haven of rustic simplicity. Built by his grandfather, it stood as a testament to the enduring spirit of the mountains, its weathered logs and moss-covered roof blending seamlessly with the surrounding wilderness. He gently laid the cub on a makeshift bed of blankets, its whimpers echoing through the quiet cabin. He retrieved his first aid kit, a relic from his army days, its contents a familiar comfort in this unfamiliar situation. With practiced hands, he cleaned the cub's injured paw, his touch gentle but firm, his movements efficient and reassuring. He splinted the broken bones, his fingers working with a precision honed by years of experience patching up wounded soldiers. The cub, its initial fear subsiding, watched John with wide, curious eyes. It whimpered softly, its small body trembling with a mix of pain and apprehension. John, his voice a soothing murmur, spoke to the cub, his words carrying a calming reassurance that transcended the boundaries of language. "It's okay, little one," he said, his voice rough but gentle. "I'm here to help you. You're safe now." He offered the cub a bowl of water, its parched tongue lapping eagerly at the cool liquid. He then prepared a makeshift meal of berries and nuts, foraging from the surrounding woods, his knowledge of the wilderness a legacy of his mountain upbringing. The cub, its hunger overcoming its fear, cautiously approached the food, its small teeth nibbling at the berries, its eyes never leaving John's face. John, his heart warmed by the cub's trust, watched with a paternal tenderness he hadn't known he possessed. He named the cub Hope, a symbol of the flicker of light he felt rekindling within him, a testament to the healing power of compassion and connection. Days turned into a gentle rhythm of care and companionship. John, his days once filled with solitary hikes and introspective solitude, now revolved around Hope's needs. He would clean and redress her injured paw, his touch growing more confident with each passing day. He would forage for food, his knowledge of the wilderness expanding as he sought to provide a varied and nutritious diet for his young charge. He would spend hours talking to Hope, his voice filling the quiet cabin with stories of his life, his experiences, his struggles, his hopes. Hope, her initial fear replaced by a growing trust, responded with an affection that touched John's heart. She would follow him around the cabin, her small paws patting softly on the wooden floor. She would play with the makeshift toys he created for her, her playful antics bringing a smile to his face. She would curl up beside him as he sat by the fireplace, her soft fur a comforting presence against his leg, her gentle purrs a soothing balm to his troubled soul. John, his heart gradually opening to the unconditional love of the small creature, found himself experiencing moments of peace he hadn't felt since returning from the war. The nightmares that had plagued his sleep became less frequent, the flashbacks less intense, the silence of his solitude now filled with the comforting presence of Hope. He would often find himself talking to Hope about his experiences in the war, his voice trembling with emotion as he recounted the horrors he had witnessed, the lives he had saved and lost. Hope, her innocent eyes reflecting his pain, would listen patiently, her presence a silent comfort, her unconditional love a healing balm. As the weeks passed, John and Hope's bond deepened, their connection a testament to the power of compassion and the resilience of the human spirit. John, his heart slowly mending, found himself rediscovering the humanity he had almost lost in the shadows of war, his faith in life rekindled by the unwavering love of a small bear cub. The tranquility of their shared existence was shattered one night by a sudden thunderstorm. The wind howled through the trees, its mournful cries echoing through the valley. Rain lashed against the cabin, its rhythmic drumming a relentless reminder of the forces of nature. John, his sleep disturbed by the storm's fury, sat up in bed, his heart pounding with a familiar anxiety. The darkness of the cabin, illuminated only by the occasional flashes of lightning, seemed to close in on him, the shadows dancing menacingly on the walls. Hope, sensing his distress, whimpered softly, her small body trembling beside him. John, his paternal instincts kicking in, reached out to comfort her, his hand gently stroking her fur, his voice a soothing murmur in the darkness. "It's okay, Hope," he whispered, his voice barely audible above the storm's roar. "I'm here. You're safe." But his words offered little comfort to his own troubled spirit. The storm, with its relentless fury, had triggered a cascade of memories, flashbacks to the nights spent in the war zone, the deafening explosions, the blinding flashes of light, the screams of the wounded echoing through the darkness. He saw the faces of his fallen comrades, their eyes staring blankly into the abyss, their bodies twisted and broken, their lives extinguished in the blink of an eye. He felt the weight of their lifeless forms in his arms, the warmth of their blood staining his hands, the despair of his inability to save them. He clenched his fists, his knuckles white, his body trembling with the phantom echoes of gunfire and explosions. He gasped for air, his lungs constricted by the invisible weight of his memories, his heart pounding with a fear that threatened to consume him. Hope, sensing his distress, whimpered louder, her small body pressing against him, her warmth a comforting anchor in the storm's chaos. John, his senses reeling, clung to her, his arms wrapped tightly around her furry body, his face buried in her soft fur. Her presence, a tangible reminder of life and innocence, offered a lifeline in the sea of his despair. Her warmth, a gentle contrast to the coldness of his memories, soothed his troubled soul. Her soft whimpers, a counterpoint to the storm's fury, anchored him to the present, to the reality of his sanctuary, to the bond he had forged with the creature that had sought his aid. He closed his eyes, his breathing gradually becoming more regular, his heart rate slowing, his body relaxing into the comforting embrace of the small bear cub. He whispered words of comfort to Hope, his voice a soothing murmur in the darkness, his words a balm to his own troubled spirit. "It's okay, Hope," he repeated, his voice gaining strength with each repetition. "We're safe. We're together." As the storm raged outside, its fury echoing the turmoil within him, John found solace in the presence of Hope, her unconditional love a beacon of light in the darkness of his memories, her unwavering loyalty a testament to the healing power of connection. He knew that the scars of war would never fully fade, that the ghosts of his past would continue to haunt his thoughts. But he also knew that he was not alone, that he had found a companion, a furry friend, a source of comfort and healing in the most unexpected of circumstances. He held Hope close, his heart filled with gratitude for the small creature that had stumbled into his life, his spirit rekindled by the bond they had forged, his faith in humanity restored by the unwavering love of a bear cub. The storm eventually subsided, leaving behind a cleansed landscape and a renewed sense of calm. The sun emerged from behind the clouds, casting a golden glow on the rain-soaked mountains, a symbol of hope and renewal. John, his spirit calmed by the presence of hope and the passing of the storm, emerged from the cabin, his gaze drawn to the beauty that surrounded him. The air, fresh and invigorating, filled his lungs with a renewed sense of life. He decided to venture into the nearby town, a small community nestled in the foothills of the mountains, a place he had avoided since his return from the war. He needed supplies for himself and hope, and he felt a growing desire to reconnect with the world he had withdrawn from. He carried Hope with him, her small body nestled securely in his arms, her presence a comforting weight against his chest. He walked through the town, his eyes taking in the familiar sights, the quaint shops, the friendly faces, the rhythm of life that had once been a part of his world. He entered the general store, its shelves stocked with a comforting array of necessities and local crafts. The owner, a kindly woman with a warm smile, greeted him with a familiarity that warmed his heart. He purchased supplies, his interactions with the townsfolk a welcome reminder of the simple joys of human connection. He felt a sense of belonging, a reawakening of the community spirit he had missed during his years of isolation. As he was leaving the store, a young boy approached him, his eyes wide with curiosity, his gaze fixed on Hope. "Mister?" the boy asked, his voice filled with wonder. "Is that a bear cub?" John, a smile touching his lips, nodded. "Yes, it is," he replied, his voice gentle. The boy, his excitement growing, peppered John with questions about Hope, his curiosity a testament to the innocence and wonder of childhood. John, his heart warmed by the boy's enthusiasm, shared Hope's story, his words painting a picture of their unlikely encounter and the bond they had formed. The boy's mother, overhearing their conversation, approached with a concerned expression. She inquired about Hope's injured paw, her voice filled with a maternal empathy that resonated with John. He explained that he was caring for Hope, tending to her injuries, his words carrying a conviction that surprised even himself. The woman, her concern replaced by admiration, offered her assistance, suggesting they visit the local veterinarian, a kind and compassionate woman known for her expertise in treating animals of all shapes and sizes. John, his heart filled with gratitude for the unexpected kindness, accepted her offer, his steps now lighter, his spirit lifted by the sense of community and support. He visited the veterinarian, Dr. Emily Carter, her warm smile and gentle touch mirroring the compassion he had encountered in the town. She examined Hope, her practiced hands gently probing the injured paw, her voice soothing and reassuring. She confirmed John's assessment, praising his efforts in caring for Hope, her words carrying a respect that bolstered his confidence. She offered her assistance, providing additional medical supplies and guidance, her expertise a welcome support in his newfound role as caregiver. News of John's compassionate act spread through the small town, his story a beacon of hope and a reminder of the enduring power of human kindness. The townsfolk, their hearts touched by his dedication to the injured cub, rallied around him, offering their support and encouragement. They brought him fresh produce from their gardens, homemade treats for Hope, and words of gratitude for his selfless act. They shared stories of their own encounters with wildlife, their voices weaving a tapestry of connection and respect for the natural world. John, his isolation gradually melting away, found himself embraced by a community that recognized his vulnerability and celebrated his compassion. He felt a sense of belonging, a reawakening of the human connection he had craved, a restoration of his faith in the goodness of humanity. And as he walked back to his cabin, Hope nestled securely in his arms, her soft fur brushing against his cheek. He realized that his journey of healing had taken an unexpected turn, a path illuminated by the kindness of strangers, the unwavering loyalty of a bear cub, and the enduring power of compassion in the face of adversity. The support of the community, a balm to John's wounded spirit, brought a renewed sense of purpose to his life. He no longer felt like an outsider, a stranger in his own hometown. He was embraced for his compassion, his vulnerability, his willingness to extend a helping hand to a creature in need. He continued his daily visits to Dr. Carter's clinic, their shared dedication to Hope's well-being forging a bond of mutual respect and understanding. Dr. Carter, with her gentle expertise and compassionate heart, guided John through the intricacies of caring for an injured cub, her knowledge a beacon of light in his unfamiliar territory. She taught him how to clean and dress Hope's wounds, how to monitor her progress, how to provide a balanced diet that would nourish her growing body. She shared her insights into bear behavior, their instincts, their social structures, their vital role in the delicate ecosystem of the Great Smoky Mountains. John, his mind eager to absorb the new knowledge, listened intently, his questions reflecting his deep desire to provide the best possible care for Hope. He felt a sense of purpose, a responsibility to nurture this creature that had sought his aid, a mission that transcended his own struggles and reconnected him with the compassion that had defined his life before the war. But the shadows of his past continued to haunt him, the memories of war intruding on his newfound peace. He would often find himself staring into the distance, his eyes reflecting the horrors he had witnessed, his body tensing with the phantom echoes of explosions and gunfire. Hope, sensing his distress, would nuzzle his hand, her soft whimpers a gentle reminder of their bond, her presence a comforting anchor in the turbulent sea of his thoughts. John, his heart filled with gratitude for her unwavering loyalty, would stroke her fur, his touch a silent conversation of comfort and reassurance. He would talk to Hope about his experiences, his voice trembling with emotion as he recounted the stories of courage and sacrifice, the moments of shared humanity amidst the chaos, the lives he had saved and the lives he had lost. Hope, her innocent eyes reflecting his pain, would listen patiently, her presence a silent comfort, her unconditional love a healing balm. She would lick away his tears, her rough tongue a gentle caress, her warmth a reminder of the life that continued to blossom amidst the scars of war. One evening, as John sat by the fireplace, Hope curled up beside him. He shared a particularly harrowing memory, his voice choked with emotion as he described the loss of a close friend, a fellow medic who had been killed by a roadside bomb. Hope, sensing the depth of his grief, whimpered softly, her small body trembling against his. John, his heart aching with the weight of his memories, wrapped his arms around her, his tears soaking her fur, his sobs a release of the pain he had carried for so long. Hope, her loyalty unwavering, responded with a fierce protectiveness, her small body a shield against his sorrow, her presence a silent promise of unwavering support. She licked away his tears, her warmth a comforting embrace, her unconditional love a beacon of light in the darkness of his memories. In that moment, John realized that his healing journey was not a solitary one. He had Hope by his side, her presence a constant reminder of the resilience of life, the power of connection, the enduring strength of the human-animal bond. He knew that the scars of war would never fully fade, that the ghosts of his past would continue to haunt his thoughts. But he also knew that he was not alone, that he had found a companion, a furry friend, a source of comfort and healing in the most unexpected of circumstances. He held Hope close, his heart filled with gratitude for the small creature that had stumbled into his life, his spirit rekindled by the bond they had forged, his faith in humanity restored by the unwavering love of a bear cub. As the weeks turned into months, a sense of normalcy returned to John's life, a rhythm punctuated by the comforting presence of Hope and the support of the community. He continued his daily routine of caring for Hope, his actions now imbued with a deeper understanding of her needs and a growing appreciation for the bond they shared. He would take her on walks through the woods, their footsteps tracing familiar paths, their shared silence a testament to the unspoken connection that had blossomed between them. He would teach her the ways of the wilderness, pointing out the different species of trees, the calls of various birds, the subtle signs of animal tracks hidden amongst the undergrowth. Hope, her natural curiosity piqued by John's guidance, absorbed the knowledge with an eagerness that delighted him. She would sniff the air, her nose twitching, her ears perked, her senses attuned to the symphony of the forest. She would chase butterflies through sun-drenched meadows, her playful antics a reminder of her youthful exuberance. She would climb trees with a surprising agility, her claws finding purchase on the rough bark, her eyes sparkling with a mischievous glint as she surveyed her domain from the heights. John, watching her explore the wilderness with a newfound freedom, felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. He had nurtured her back to health, his care and attention restoring her to her natural vitality. He had become her protector, her teacher, her companion in a world that had once held only fear and uncertainty for her. He continued his visits to Dr. Carter's clinic, their conversations now extending beyond Hope's physical well-being. They would discuss the challenges of PTSD, the invisible wounds that lingered long after the physical scars had healed. Dr. Carter, with her compassionate understanding and professional expertise, offered John a safe space to share his experiences, his fears, his hopes for the future. She listened patiently, her insights offering a glimmer of understanding, her encouragement a beacon of hope in the darkness of his memories. She introduced him to mindfulness techniques, breathing exercises, and coping mechanisms that helped him manage the anxiety and flashbacks that still haunted his thoughts. She encouraged him to reconnect with his fellow veterans, to find solace in shared experiences, to draw strength from the camaraderie that had once defined his life. John, his heart gradually opening to the possibility of healing, embraced the tools and support offered by Dr. Carter. He attended group therapy sessions, his initial reluctance replaced by a sense of shared understanding and a renewed connection to the brotherhood he had missed. He found solace in the company of other veterans, their stories echoing his own struggles, their resilience a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit. He shared his experiences with them, his voice gaining strength with each shared memory, his pain lessening with each heartfelt connection. He began to volunteer at the local VA hospital, his medical skills now directed towards helping his fellow veterans, his compassion a beacon of hope for those struggling with the invisible wounds of war. He found a sense of purpose in his service, his actions a tribute to the fallen comrades he had carried in his heart for so long. And as the seasons turned, painting the Smoky Mountains in a vibrant tapestry of colors, John's journey of healing continued, his path illuminated by the unwavering love of hope, the support of the community, and the enduring power of compassion in the face of adversity. Spring arrived in the Smoky Mountains, bringing with it a renewed sense of life and vibrancy. Wildflowers carpeted the meadows in a riot of colors, their fragrance filling the air with a sweet symphony. The trees, their branches adorned with fresh green leaves, swayed gently in the warm breeze, their rustling a soothing lullaby. Hope, now a year old, had blossomed into a healthy and energetic young bear. Her once injured paw had healed completely, her movements now fluid and graceful, her playful antics a constant source of joy for John. She would chase butterflies through the meadows, her clumsy attempts to catch them eliciting laughter from John. She would climb trees with a practiced ease, her claws finding purchase on the rough bark, her eyes sparkling with a mischievous glint as she surveyed her domain from the heights. She would splash in the cool, clear waters of the mountain streams, her playful growls echoing through the valley, her joy a testament to the life that had been nurtured back to health. John, and witnessed her transformation from a vulnerable cub to a thriving young bear. But he also knew that the time had come for her to return to her natural habitat, to live the life she was meant for. He consulted with Dr. Carter. Their discussions now focused on Hope's reintegration into the wild. They devised a plan, a gradual process that would allow Hope to acclimate to her new surroundings, to rediscover her instincts, to embrace her role in the delicate balance of the ecosystem. They chose a remote area of the park, a secluded valley teeming with wildlife, a place where Hope could thrive and reconnect with her own kind. They prepared a temporary enclosure, a safe haven where she could adjust to her new surroundings before venturing out on her own. The day of Hope's release arrived, a bittersweet moment filled with a mix of sadness and joy. John, his heart heavy with the impending separation, carried Hope to the enclosure, his footsteps slow and deliberate, his every movement imbued with a sense of finality. He opened the gate, his hand lingering on the latch, his eyes meeting Hope's gaze. He saw a flicker of understanding in her eyes, a recognition of the change that was about to unfold. Hope stepped into the enclosure, her movements hesitant at first, her senses bombarded by the unfamiliar scents and sounds of the wilderness. She looked back at John, her eyes questioning, her whimpers a soft plea for reassurance. John, his voice thick with emotion, spoke to her, his words carrying a message of love and encouragement. "Go on, Hope," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "It's time for you to be free. You're ready." Hope, her instincts taking over, turned and ventured deeper into the enclosure, her movements now confident, her senses attuned to the rhythm of the wild. She explored the surrounding trees, her claws scratching the bark, her nose sniffing the ground, her ears twitching at the sounds of birdsong and rustling leaves. John watched her, his heart aching with the separation, his eyes filled with pride and gratitude. He had played a part in her journey, his compassion and care a catalyst for her healing and growth. He had witnessed the resilience of life, the enduring power of connection, the transformative power of love. He turned and walked away, his footsteps heavy with the weight of his emotions, his heart filled with a bittersweet blend of sadness and joy. He knew that he would miss Hope's presence, her playful antics, her comforting warmth. But he also knew that he had given her the greatest gift he could offer, the freedom to live the life she was meant for. He returned to his cabin, the silence now amplified by Hope's absence. He sat by the fireplace, its flames casting dancing shadows on the walls, his thoughts drifting back to the day he had found her, a small, injured cub whimpering in pain. He remembered the bond they had forged, the healing they had shared, the lessons they had learned from each other. He realized that Hope had not only brought him solace and companionship, but she had also reawakened his compassion, his faith in humanity, his belief in his own potential for healing. He looked out the window, his gaze drawn to the majestic mountains, their peaks shrouded in mist, their presence a constant reminder of the enduring power of nature. He knew that Hope was out there, somewhere in the vast wilderness, her spirit as wild and free as the wind that whispered through the trees. He smiled, his heart filled with a quiet gratitude for the time they had shared, the journey they had taken together, the love that had blossomed amidst the scars of war and the healing embrace of the wilderness. The story of John and Hope, the soldier and the bear cub, spread through the small mountain community like wildfire, its warmth touching the hearts of those who heard it. John, once an isolated figure, haunted by the shadows of war, now found himself embraced by a community that recognized his compassion and resilience. The townsfolk, their own lives often touched by hardship and loss, saw in John a reflection of their own struggles, his journey a testament to the healing power of connection and the enduring strength of the human spirit. They reached out to him with a newfound understanding, their gestures of kindness and support weaving a tapestry of community that enveloped him in its warmth. They invited him to their gatherings, their homes filled with the aroma of home-cooked meals and the sounds of laughter and shared stories. They shared their own experiences, their voices echoing the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. They offered him opportunities to contribute his skills, his medical expertise now a valuable asset in their close-knit community. He assisted the local doctor, his practiced hands tending to the ailments of the townsfolk, his presence a calming reassurance in times of need. He volunteered at the community center, organizing workshops on first aid and wilderness survival, his knowledge a valuable resource for those who ventured into the mountains. He became a mentor to the local youth, his stories of courage and resilience inspiring them to face their own challenges with a newfound determination. John, his heart gradually opening to the warmth of human connection, found himself embracing the community that had welcomed him back into its fold. He rediscovered the simple joys of shared laughter, the comforting familiarity of familiar faces, the sense of belonging that had eluded him since his return from the war. He began to attend the local church, its steeple a beacon of hope in the valley, its congregation a diverse tapestry of faith and resilience. He found solace in the hymns that echoed through the sanctuary, their melodies a balm to his troubled soul. He found comfort in the shared prayers, their words a testament to the enduring power of faith and the interconnectedness of all beings. He formed friendships with the pastor and fellow parishioners, their conversations filled with a mix of spiritual guidance and everyday concerns, their shared humanity a reminder of the common threads that bound them together. He found himself drawn to the church's outreach programs, his desire to help others a reflection of his own journey of healing and the compassion that had been rekindled by his encounter with hope. He volunteered at the local soup kitchen, his hands now serving meals to those in need, his presence offering a quiet dignity to those who had been marginalized by society. He participated in community service projects, his efforts contributing to the betterment of their small town, his actions a testament to his renewed sense of purpose and his desire to make a positive impact on the world around him. And as the seasons turned, painting the Smoky Mountains in a vibrant tapestry of colors, John's life blossomed with a renewed sense of hope and purpose. He had found healing in the embrace of nature, the companionship of a bear cub, and the kindness of a community that had welcomed him back into its fold. He had faced the shadows of his past, embraced the vulnerability of his wounds, and emerged stronger, his spirit rekindled by the enduring power of compassion, his faith in humanity restored by the ripple effect of kindness that had touched his life and the lives of those around him. Time, the relentless river, continued its journey, carving its path through the landscape of the Smoky Mountains and the lives of its inhabitants. The seasons turned, painting the hills in a vibrant tapestry of colors. The wildlife thrived in its natural habitat, and the human spirit found solace in the enduring beauty of the wilderness. John, his heart healed and his spirit renewed, embraced his life in Harmony Creek with a newfound appreciation for the simple joys and the profound connections that had shaped his journey. He continued his work with the Forestry Service, his dedication to preserving the natural world a testament to his deep connection to the mountains that had nurtured his soul. He became a respected member of the community, his wisdom and compassion sought after by those seeking guidance and support. He shared his story with veterans groups, his experiences offering a beacon of hope to those struggling with the invisible wounds of war. He mentored young people, his tales of resilience and the healing power of nature inspiring them to embrace their own challenges with courage and determination. He volunteered at the local animal shelter, his gentle touch and compassionate heart a balm to the creatures that had found refuge within its walls. He often returned to the secluded valley where he had released hope, his footsteps tracing familiar paths, his memories a bittersweet blend of sadness and joy. He would sit by the stream, its gentle murmur a soothing symphony, his thoughts drifting back to the time they had shared, the bond they had forged, the lessons they had learned from each other. He would imagine Hope, now a mature bear, roaming the wilderness with a confident grace, her spirit as wild and free as the wind that whispered through the trees. He would smile, his heart filled with gratitude for the unexpected encounter that had led him on a path of healing and rediscovery. He had come full circle, his journey a testament to the enduring power of compassion, the resilience of the human spirit, and the transformative power of connection. He had faced the darkness of his past, embraced the vulnerability of his wounds, and emerged stronger, his faith in humanity restored, his heart filled with a newfound peace. He had found solace in the solitude of the mountains, the companionship of a bear cub, and the kindness of a community that had welcomed him back into its fold. He had learned that healing could be found in the most unexpected of places, that love could transcend the boundaries of species, and that hope could blossom even in the darkest of times. And as he stood on the mountaintop, his gaze sweeping across the vast expanse of wilderness, he knew that his story, like the echoes of the wind through the trees, would continue to resonate, a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit and the unwavering spirit of a wild bear that had sought a soldier's aid and, in doing so, had restored his faith in humanity.